It would appear that Carl Frampton, the Jackal, the other Jackal, former champion at super bantamweight and featherweight, is a little bit in turmoil about whether he should continue his career. In the wake of his loss to Josh Warrington, it seemed like he kind of recognised he's a little bit too small for 126 pounds featherweight, and that was a definite factor in his loss to the Leeds Warrior. Not long after the welts on his forehead had gone down, he spoke about dropping back down to 122 pounds super bantam, seeing what he could do there. But not long after that, kind of recently, he spoke again about he feels he could definitely beat Santa Cruz, Warrington, Gary Russell Jr., all these guys and names at featherweight if he manages to get it right. But the question is, what part of that is really aligned with reality, what's possible, and what part of it is just ego that's looking back at things retrospectively and thinking, well, I'd like to amend those wrongs. Back in the day, fighters often did, when the star was dimming, they could kind of get away with dropping their competition and just pick up some wins after some big losses and just sail away into the sunset. It was easier to do. It's not like that these days. Fighters fight, of course, less frequently, and they want to fight at near enough the level at least they were doing. They don't want to get a cheap win at a domestic level and then leave. Frampton has said as much. He said he wants to essentially be a world champion again. But what part of that is realistic, considering everything? What is his appetite for the game like? A lot of people said going into the Warrington fight that he's maybe not the same fighter, and I guess I would agree to that. I would agree with that to a degree. There is a difference in boxing, even between prime and peak. You have your peak part of your career, which is the absolute pinnacle, and you have your prime where you're basically at your physical best. Frampton now, he may kind of still be near that physical prime. He's still only 31, he's going on 32 this year. But when you get into your 30s, you start to feel those aches and pains a little bit more. And depending on how successful you've been in your career, your appetite to succeed is going to dwindle. And those two things combined, again, how much is it in alignment with what is possible? Are you able to make those mental sacrifices to be able to go, right, I know this is what I need to do? And are you as hungry for it to go, yes, I would love to fight Santa Cruz in a rubber match and get it? I got the sense after his defeat to Santa Cruz in the rematch, which I felt was really determined not so much by a lack of form by Frampton, but more so by Santa Cruz's adjustments and using his natural range more, that Frampton felt that, it's difficult now if I go into a rubber match with this guy, because he probably knows how to fight me a bit better now after the first fight. And now that second fight, he may have the measure of me. So, again, what part of this is practical? What part of it is ego? There doesn't appear to be the names at 122 pounds super bantamweight for Frampton. And because he's had the losses at featherweight, they're the ones that he's always going to want to change. But what do you think? Do you think Frampton is going to come back? Is it a bad idea? And if he does, do you think he can become a world champion again before leaving the game for good?